The Galactic Military Academy's mess hall fell silent as the Vraktar warrior rose from his seat, all 8 feet of scarred muscle and chitinous armor gleaming under the artificial lighting. Cadet Zorthak had been waiting weeks for this moment, a chance to establish his dominance over the soft pink creature that had somehow earned admission to the galaxy's most prestigious military institution. Marcus Chen continued eating his synthetic protein ration, seemingly oblivious to the predator stalking toward his table. The other cadets, a mixture of species from across the known galaxy, watched with a combination of fascination and dread. Everyone knew what happened when a Vraktar decided to make an example of someone. "Human!" Zorthak's voice was a rumbling growl that made the nearby Zalari cadets instinctively flatten their ear fronds. "You do not belong here among warriors. Your species is weak, soft. You have no claws, no armor, no venom. You are prey masquerading as predator." Marcus looked up from his meal, his brown eyes meeting the Vraktar's 4 red ones. Around them, conversations had died completely. Even the Academy's AI seemed to hold its breath, dimming the ambient lighting slightly as if anticipating violence. "That's an interesting perspective," Marcus said, his voice calm and conversational. He set down his utensil and leaned back in his chair, completely relaxed despite having 200 pounds of apex predator looming over him. Zorthak's mandibles clicked in irritation. This wasn't the reaction he'd expected. Where was the fear? The cowering? The begging that usually preceded his displays of dominance? "You mock me, soft skin?" "Not at all." Marcus stood slowly, his movements fluid and controlled. He was tall for a human, but still dwarfed by the Vraktar. "I was just thinking about something my grandfather used to say." The human's lips curved upward in what the other species had learned was called a smile. It was a peculiar expression, one that could indicate joy, amusement, or, as many were beginning to suspect, something far more dangerous. "He told me that the most dangerous predator isn't the one with the biggest claws or the loudest roar," Marcus continued, his smile widening slightly. "It's the one that doesn't need either." Zorthak's head tilted, confusion flickering across his alien features. This wasn't how these encounters were supposed to go. The human should be trembling, submitting, acknowledging his superiority. Instead, there was something in those dark eyes that made the warrior's instincts suddenly scream warnings. "You see, Zorthak," Marcus said, pronouncing the alien name perfectly despite its complex clicking consonants. "Humans have been predators for a very long time. We might not look like much, but we've been hunting since before most species in this room discovered fire." The human took a step closer, and impossibly, Zorthak felt himself take a step back. The logical part of his mind rebelled. This creature was smaller, weaker, clearly inferior. But something deeper, something primal, was sending different signals entirely. We didn't evolve claws because we made tools that were sharper. We didn't develop armor because we learned to avoid damage entirely. And we didn't need venom because we discovered something much more effective: patience. Marcus's eyes never left the Vraktar's as he continued speaking, his voice remaining conversational, almost friendly. But there was something underneath it now, something that made several of the nearby cadets unconsciously edge away from their table. "My species spent millennia persistence hunting. Do you know what that means, Zorthak? It means we would pick a target, something bigger, stronger, faster than us, and we would simply follow it for days, weeks, however long it took. We'd track it across continents, through forests, over mountains. We couldn't outrun it or overpower it, so we simply outlasted it." The Vraktar's breathing had become shallow. Every instinct in his body was now screaming at him to flee, to get away from this seemingly harmless creature, whose smile had taken on a quality that belonged in his people's oldest nightmares. "The thing about persistence hunting," Marcus continued, taking another casual step forward, "is that the prey always knows it's being followed. It can sense the hunter behind it, always there, never stopping, never tiring. Eventually, it doesn't matter how fast or strong the prey is. Eventually, it just gives up." The mess hall was dead silent now. Even the air recycling system seemed muted, as if the academy itself was holding its breath. Zorthak's 4 eyes were wide with something that his species had nearly bred out of themselves over millennia of being apex predators. Pure, instinctual terror. "The beautiful thing about humans," Marcus said, his smile now resembling something a shark might wear, "is that we never forgot how to hunt. We just got better at it." For a long moment neither moved. Then slowly, inexorably, The mighty Vraktar warrior took another step backward. Then another. His instincts had finally overridden his pride, screaming a single overwhelming message. This creature is not prey. Marcus watched him retreat, his expression returning to its earlier friendliness as if nothing had happened. Anyway, he said, settling back into his chair and picking up his utensil. That's what my grandfather used to say. Enjoy your meal, Zorthek. The Vraktar warrior fled. As conversation slowly resumed around the mess hall, a small group of cadets approached Marcus's table. Among them was Kefri, a Zalari whose species had evolved from prey animals and possessed an almost supernatural ability to sense danger. Human Marcus, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. What just happened? Marcus looked up from his meal, his expression genuinely puzzled. What do you mean? Zorthak is one of the most feared warriors in our class. His species conquered half their galaxy before joining the Federation, but he ran from you like he'd seen a ghost, finished another cadet, a crystalline Sorth whose species communicated primarily through harmonic resonance. Marcus shrugged, taking another bite of his ration. Maybe he just remembered something important he had to do. But Kefri's large dark eyes never left his face. She had seen something in that moment, something that connected to the oldest stories her people told about the galaxy's most successful persistence hunters, stories about a species that had climbed to the top of their world's food chain, not through strength or speed, but through the simple, terrifying act of never giving up. As the other cadets dispersed, she remained at his table studying him with new understanding. Your people, she said finally, they really are predators, aren't they? Marcus smiled, a genuine warm expression this time. The very best kind, he said. The kind that usually don't need to prove it. In the weeks that followed, word spread throughout the academy about the human who had faced down a Vraktar warrior with nothing but a smile. The story grew in the telling, but the core remained the same. There was something about humans that even the galaxy's apex predators instinctively recognized and feared. And Marcus Chen, still smiling that patient, persistent smile, continued his studies, secure in the knowledge that the most dangerous predator was indeed the one that didn't need claws to prove it.